Good morning, Pine class. Today in our English lesson, we're going to be trying to improve our descriptive writing by using three things: expanded noun phrases, fronted adverbials, and subordinating conjunctions. I'm going to cover an example with you now, and then you're going to have a go with another example. So, the image we're going to try and describe today is this spooky looking haunted house. You can see a fantastic drawing I've done of it in the top right hand corner. The first thing that I've done is to try and brainstorm some really good adjectives to describe this haunted house. So you can see I've chosen the words ancient, dark, moss-covered, echoing, spooky, abandoned, and isolated. Now, the first thing I'm going to try and do is to write about this haunted house using an expanded noun phrase. So, an expanded noun phrase is a phrase made up of a noun and at least one adjective to describe that noun. Ideally, I would say using two adjectives to describe the noun sounds best. But if you use more than one, then you must use a comma between them. Now, I've selected ancient and moss-covered as the two adjectives that I'm going to use in my expanded noun phrase. So what I've come up with is: the ancient moss-covered house stood in the middle of the dark echoing woods. Now, ancient and moss-covered are the adjectives I've used to describe the noun of the house. Notice I've used a comma between them, but I've also used two of my adjectives to describe another noun, the woods. I've said that they are dark and echoing. And notice again, I've used a comma between those adjectives. The next part we're going to look at are fronted adverbials. Now, fronted adverbials are a single word or a phrase placed at the beginning of a sentence to give more information about the action in the main clause. A fronted adverbial must also be followed by a comma. Now, the fronted adverbial I've used in my example sentence is eerily. So my sentence reads like this: eerily, the ancient moss-covered house stood in the middle of the dark echoing woods. Notice again, I've used a comma after my fronted adverbial, and now my sentence not only has two expanded noun phrases, but a fronted adverbial at the beginning of it. The final thing we're going to try to do to enrich our writing is to use subordinating conjunctions. These are used at the beginning of a subordinating clause, which is a clause that doesn't make sense on its own. Now, there are 10 subordinating conjunctions you can use, and in the bottom left-hand corner I've listed them. They are if, since, as, when, although, while, after, before, until, and because. I've chosen to use the subordinating conjunction as. So now that I've added in my subordinating conjunction, my full sentence with expanded noun phrases, fronted adverbials, and a subordinating conjunction reads like this: eerily, the ancient moss-covered house stood in the middle of the dark echoing woods as the wind pounded violently against its withering walls. Now, for your work, you are going to have a new image to describe. It's going to be an image of some royal gardens. I will provide you with a template, and using that template, you are going to create a bank of adjectives to describe those gardens. And then you're going to do just as I've done. You're going to create a sentence using an expanded noun phrase. Then you're going to add a fronted adverbial to that sentence. And finally, you'll add a subordinating conjunction to that sentence so that it includes not only subordinating conjunctions, but fronted adverbials and expanded noun phrases as well. Good luck!